Look, folks, if there's any story that you pay attention to today, you read about, you hear about, it should absolutely be this one, because this has terrifying implications for our democracy, what this means for the future under Republican rule with Donald Trump in office, and what this means for the 2026 midterms. It is terrifying, but the good news is we have a solution. There's a way to fight back and fight fire with fire to not let these Republicans get away with crap like this. We're learning that Louisiana congressional primaries have been suspended after the Supreme Court completely gutted the Voting Rights Act, making it even harder for people of color, voters of color, to have their voices heard and to be represented in government. And Republican states in the South, like Louisiana, are already jumping at the opportunity. They're just straight up canceling elections. Canceling elections is not something that we should be saying here in the United States of America. That's something that happens in Russia. That's something that happens in China or North Korea, places like that, adversaries of the United States. That does not happen here. And yet that's exactly what Republicans are doing. I want to detail this story for you right now. Louisiana's congressional primaries won't be going forward as scheduled in May as a result of a U.S. Supreme Court ruling that struck down a majority black congressional district. The state's top elected officials said on Thursday. Governor Jeff Landry, who is a lunatic MAGA. When you look into this guy and hear what he said and what he believes, it is very out there. And the Republicans go along with it. It's like Donald Trump, but in Louisiana. And Attorney General Liz Murrill, both Republicans said in a joint statement Wednesday that the ruling effectively prohibits the state from carrying out the primaries under the current districts, which is not true. Early voting had been scheduled to begin Saturday in advance of the May 16th primary. We're talking about elections that were like 2 weeks away. And they just said, you know what? Actually, no. Actually, we don't want to hold these elections. Actually, we want to postpone these elections so we can redistrict, so we can change the maps in favor of us. Gerrymandering. Quote, the state is currently enjoined from carrying out congressional elections under the current map, Landry and Murrill said in this statement. We are working together with the legislator and the Secretary of State's office to develop this map could give Republicans a chance to pick up at least one more seat in the November midterm elections, adding to Republican gains elsewhere in an unusual national redistricting battle. And the thing about the House of Representatives, it looks good for Democrats, but the House in the past couple of elections have been decided by like 4 or 5 seats. So Republicans gaining an extra one is a pretty big deal, and they're doing it by canceling primaries so they can change their maps. Voting districts typically are redrawn once a decade, but Donald Trump, of course, started this redistricting battle. And on Wednesday, Florida became the latest state to redraw its maps, adopting a new map backed by Republican Governor Ron DeSantis that could give the Republicans a chance at winning additional seats. The Florida vote occurred just hours after the Supreme Court's conservative majority issued their ruling. So they had the maps ready to go and they just voted for it. And they seeking to challenge that. So that's one way of which we are fighting back against Louisiana and this very blatant, very brazen attack on democracy. But I have another idea. Let's not just file lawsuits. Let's not wait for the courts to address this, for Republicans to get shot down in court. Let's get to it. And so I have an idea. Why don't we take some of the bluest states in the country and just do it? Because if Republicans want to play this game, if they want to eliminate districts in the South, majority minority districts,